What's up, everybody? Fred Ricciani of TSC News. I have right here on the line a very special guest, fresh off of a stint from WWE NXT, the Moonchild himself, CJ Parker. CJ, what's going on, man?
Oh, Fred, what's up, dude? Man, you're excited. Oh, you make me excited. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. I think you're doing a little bit better than me. We were talking off the air about how you're in warm Florida, just chilling on the patio, sipping some tea. I'm here in Jersey. It's still cold, and it's April, man. What's the deal with this? I mean, I know you've been talking about the environment. I mean, can you enlighten us a little bit? Help us out here in Jersey, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, you need to come on down to Florida, man, for some vacation or something, because this is a great time of year down here. Beautiful.
And you don't have any, I mean, come on, you're the Moonchild. You don't have any environmental tips and maybe they could help make New Jersey warmer, or you think the damage is already done from all these fossil fuels?
Yeah. No, I got one for you. Get in your house and turn the thermostat up and get on your couch and watch some Netflix. That's how I deal with it.
That's a very good idea. Now, what would you watch on Netflix if you were me?
Ooh, that's a great one. Right. Well, I'm just now starting to really want to get into Sons of Anarchy. I haven't seen any of that, so I want to get into that. And the show that I've been recommended called Peaky Blinders. Have you heard of that?
I have not. I was gonna say
I have weird friends. So
I was gonna say if you get a chance, check out House of Cards, Orange is the New Black. If you haven't already seen them, awesome shows.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm all about Orange is the New Black. I've watched all that. I love it. I can't wait for the new season.
Oh, it's great. I'm shocked that WWE never made a play for Pornstache. I think he'd be a great heel GM in NXT.
Yeah, kind of like Aiden English. He's got that same mustache.
Pretty much. Well,
yeah.
Oh, go right
I don't
ahead.
even know. I think English has got a goatee now. I think he rocks the goatee, but he had a mustache for a while.
He did have a mustache for a while. You know what he looks like? He kind of looks like Cesaro if he didn't work out as much or tan.
Oh, dude, don't tell him that.
No, I mean, no. Cesaro's a good-looking guy. I'm just saying, you know. Cesaro lifts more than the usual.
No,
person.
I mean, yeah, but the whole not working out thing, that'll get right under his skin. But he's an incredible wrestler, so.
I apologize to Aiden English. I meant he doesn't lift as much as Cesaro, but who lifts as much as Cesaro? He's a strong man. Anyway.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's a Terminator, man. He's a part machine.
He is a beast. Now, you're literally like less than 2 weeks from giving your notice to WWE. You voluntarily left WWE NXT, and I guess the question I'll pose to you first is, why?
Well, I just think that, I'm 25 years old, and I wanted to experience some things that I haven't experienced yet in my career that I didn't know if I would ever, as far as, like, traveling all over the world and, really, like, earning my stripes like all my friends, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Adrian Neville, Finn Balor, all those guys that have just worked their tails off for years and years and did it the old-fashioned way and got over at the smallest level, and then now are starting to get over at the biggest level. I just feel like I owe it to myself, and I feel like that's the right way to go about things. So I'm 25. If I'm going to do it, if I'm going to give that a try, I better do it now, and that's what I decided on.
Yeah, man, I couldn't believe you were only 25. Not saying you look older, just I mean, you've been there for a while. I think you were there for 4 years. When you left, it was like 25. 25. I mean, yeah, you still have plenty of time, man.
Well, it's funny. The developmental puts some years on you, man. So this face has got some miles on it, but it's still underratedly handsome, in my opinion.
As the ladies have told me, as the ladies and some mutual friends of ours have told me many a time. Now, with NXT, you were originally in FCW before that, right?
Yeah, started in FCW May of 2011.
So were you homegrown, or did you have any experience on the indies prior to signing with FCW, or WWE and then later station FCW?
I wasn't homegrown. I was a trained. I was a pro wrestler before I got there. So I knew my way around the ring before I got to Dr. Tom. But I didn't do much on the indies before I got there. Just a couple years, and just kind of got my feet wet. Just did things around the Chicagoland area. Nothing really to speak of. And then I luckily got signed really young, and now here I am.
Yeah, here you are. And I look at your career, and for years people were telling me, man, you got to check out the CJ Parker guy. He's really underrated. He's really underrated. And I'm not gonna lie. At first, I wasn't feeling the whole environmental gimmick or whatever, but over a period of time, you could just tell you worked really hard to try to make it work. You make a lot of guys look really good, even when you weren't always on the winning end of things. And when you put in your release and it was made official and it was made public, I mean, the outpouring of support and praise from guys like, Enzo Amore had great things to say about you, but you mentioned it was Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor. I mean, these are the best of the best putting you over. So obviously, there's something that they saw that unfortunately not a lot of fans got to see when you were in NXT. What do you feel like you bring to the table that fans haven't seen?
I think I don't know. I don't think the fans know like how passionate I am about wrestling and how much I love it, and the fact that I'm going to do it until the day I die. I'm going to wrestle when I'm 60 years old. I know for a fact, and I'm not going to stop until I'm excellent in every area of wrestling. It's all I aspire to be as a man, is a hell of a pro wrestler, and seeing all those people say all those things about me, man, it just made me feel so good. It was it's hard to even actually put into words. It was insane. I like to think, if my friends were in charge, maybe things would have went a little different. But no, I'm just kidding. It's great. It's a great group of guys down here, and we really bonded and became friends. And we did all the little shows all over Florida together. We're in the performance center every day for hours on end, popping each other, making each other laugh, and it's impossible to not become friends with everybody. And those guys, if any of them left and I would have stayed, I would have said the same thing about all of them, because they're my brothers, and I love them all.
You're talking about how passionate you are about the business. I mean, you're just talking to you for a few minutes on the air and off the air. I could certainly tell that. For fans that don't really know much about you, who kind of drew you into wrestling? Who was one guy that you saw on TV that immediately got you hooked?
Well, I think everybody says Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, The Rock, and Chris Jericho. Those were huge for me when I was 10. I was born in '89, so I'm about 9, 10, 98, 99.
Same here.
Peak wrestling, and those guys, around that time, the Attitude Era, I was hooked, and that was that. As I got a little older and I started to watch older stuff, Randy Savage and Kurt Hennig and Ricky Steamboat and Bret Hart, all those guys. Those are my kind of guys. Those are the guys that I watch and I still watch and that I love.
And when they brought you back in NXT a couple years ago, or I guess kind of repackaged you, did they specifically tell you what your gimmick was? Because I know later it kind of became like an environmentalist and all that jazz, but before, I don't know, it was almost kind of like a Rastafarian gimmick a little bit. I mean, did they kind of describe to you, I think it was 2013 when they brought you back, like what exactly was that? Because some people were kind of saying it was, I don't know, a PG version of a pothead.
Well, I would say less Rastafarian and more like the word thrown around was hippie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was never like a day I woke up and like they pulled me into an office and they were like, all right, brother, you're gonna be a hippie, ready, go. that never really happened. What happened was, I was just a guy, I was 22, 23-year-old kid in boots and trunks, just trying to figure out who he was in the wrestling world, curly hair and just kind of generic. I had personality and I had stuff, but I wasn't focused in the general area. And I broke my wrist at practice, and I was out 4 or 5 months. And when I was out, I wanted to come back different. I wanted to, look cool. To me, wrestling is all about, now people see me, I'm the guy with dreadlocks. You know what I mean? That I like that. I think wrestling you need to be like that. You need to set yourself apart, and you need to look, colorful and eye-catchy and all that. So I always thought dreads were cool since I was little, and so when I got hurt, I asked the office if I could get dreads, and I said, sure, give it a try. So that's what I did, and I put some colors in there, and I really made it like flamboyant over the top. And I think that coupled with the the colorful bikers that I was wearing, and next thing you know, I'm coming out to Jimi Hendrix rip-off song, and the lighting's all like trippy and psychedelic, and then I'm practicing my entrance, and I'm like, oh, maybe you should dance. And then, oh God, I don't know if I do dance. I don't think I dance. Well, I'm gonna figure out how to do it. So I think it all just kind of took on a life of its own. It was kind of like it just snowballed into it, and then I think the day before I debuted was the day before that was when they chose the music, and when I first was like, okay, I'm gonna dance as I come out here, kind of, or sorry, excuse for a dance, and all right. So it was just kind of last minute, kind of let's get it going. They were big on characters at the time, and that it's since changed, but at that point they were like character. We want characters. Tyler Breeze, Sylvester LaFleur, CJ Park. These are characters. They're completely different. You see them and you know exactly what they are. And that's kind of how it happened. It was never a conscious decision by one person. It was kind of like a gradual thing with a lot of ideas thrown in, and then just all of us just trying to adapt and evolve it and make the best of it as we went.
And you did have some great entrance music. I will say that.
Yeah, I like the second one I had better, but yeah, the first one was cool.
It was cool. I was a little disappointed though, because once you kind of became the guy for the greater good, I was kind of hoping they'd bring back that little segue that Simon Dean used to have, because it's environmentally friendly, or at least it seems environmentally friendly. You could have come out with it, or like a smart car. You know what I'm saying? Did you ever try a petition to get a smart car, kind of like be like the environmentally safe Alberto Del Rio? I think that would have been pretty cool for the gimmick.
Well, the thing about Full Sails, I think it would have been kind of hard to get a Segway or a smart car, especially up the stairs in the back to get on the stage to come down the ramp that's only about 15 feet. So I think it would have came off even lamer than me dancing and doing the wiener swivel in the middle of the thing. So, but whatever. And if Simon Dean did it, I don't want to do it. I want to do me, not Simon Dean.
Sure. Well, with a smart car, I think a smart car would have been cool. All right, I do see your point though. Would have been cool if they hooked that up. When you were signed to FCW, were you signed by Johnny Ace, or was Triple H already kind of taking over developmental at the time?
No, I was signed by Johnny Ace and Ty Bailey. I think maybe Ty Bailey. I can't even remember. Yeah, I didn't really read it. Sign it. Where to sign that? Here we go.
You know, just like WWE. Okay, cool.
It was Ty Bailey who I believe was the guy. That's the guy I talked to. That's the guy who told me I was signed. So, yeah, I guess the answer to that is Ty Bailey.
Now, you did spend some time at FCW. Obviously, you spent a number of years in NXT. What would you say, besides the obvious production value of everything, what would you say was the biggest difference between, say, FCW under Dr. Tom, Norman Smiley, a few other guys, to NXT where it was, Bill DeMott, still some of the same trainers from FCW sprinkled in with some new faces like Coach Gunn?
It just got bigger. That's all. It was when Dr. Tom and Joey Mercury and Norman Smiley and Steve Kern were down in Southdale Mabry in the little warehouse with 3 rings and about 40 guys. It was great. It was excellent. There were stars there, and they helped the stars come into their own, and then they moved up, and it worked. It was great. It was fine. But then Triple H put his hand into developmental, and everything just got bigger and badder and better. You know what I mean? Everything. There was more coaches. There was more trainers. The roster was bigger. There was more rings. It just became very. It just grew overnight, and developmental slowly became more attractive to people maybe outside the business. Maybe a guy who played football his whole life, and WWE thought maybe he had potential to become a superstar wrestler here. Maybe that guy would walk into Dale Mabry and maybe not be blown out of the water. But now those guys, they walk into the PC and they are blown out of the water because that place is badass. It's state of the art. It's got everything you need if you want to be a pro wrestler.
Definitely looks badass. I definitely got to take a trip and check it out. I mean, I've seen the pics. I see people tell me all the time. Talked to Dallas Page a few months back. Everybody, veterans, rookies, people that have been athletes before are just blown away by it. I guess it's just something you have to see.
Well, yeah, I think it's pretty much the first of its kind in our business. It's incredible.
Definitely. Now, there is something I feel like is a little concerning with NXT. It's something great, but it's also concerning. In the last few months, particularly since Kevin Owens has gotten there, NXT has started to become more of a brand. You hear Triple H using the word brand. It's not developmental, it's a brand. And that's awesome. And it looks like they're trying to recruit more independent talent. Some names rumored, Adam Cole, ACH, the Briscoes. You're a guy that, while doesn't have the experience level of a Kevin Owens, of a Finn Balor, are somebody that certainly had their respect. But for every CJ Parker who knows what he's doing, who's a younger guy, there are guys like, say, Baron Corbin and Enzo Amore who have a lot of potential, but there's kind of a big, learning curve. Say if they sign, let's just say tomorrow they sign the Briscoes and they sign ACH and they sign Adam Cole, and then you have Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, all these other guys on top, and then you got Baron Corbin and Enzo Amore and guys like that at the bottom. Do you think that'll negatively affect NXT in a way, since there would be a bigger learning curve? Or do you think over time it would help the younger guys, the more inexperienced guys, become better, being around great workers?
Well, the second part of that is right. Anytime younger guys that are new to the business are around guys that have more experience and that are seasoned in the business, they're going to get better. But as far as Enzo Amore and Baron Corbin go, they're both doing great. They're both learning quick, and they're both going to be just fine. And I think that if you're going to be good as a pro wrestler, you're going to be good as a pro wrestler. And whether it was Dale Mabry or whether it was the PC, you're going to figure it out. Whether it's whether it's a roster of 5 guys and you know the most, you're going to figure it out. Whether there's a roster of 100 guys and you know the least, if you're going to figure it out, you're going to figure it out. And those are 2 guys that are going to figure it out and that are in the process of figuring it out. And I think with guys like the Briscoes, Adam Cole, ACH, those guys coming here would just, it's great. It's great for everybody. It's going to help the younger guys, and I think those guys coming here, they probably would enjoy working with guys like Enzo and Baron Corbin, because those guys are great workers that probably love the fact of helping guys that are a little less experienced than them. I think NXT is a really good place to be right now, regardless of experience, and it's only going to continue to get better and better with time.
And it seems like from the outside, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like very much like kind of like a family atmosphere, at least amongst the wrestlers.
Huge family atmosphere. So I think a lot of people forget, we're only at full scale. We only do our TV show about once a month, maybe twice a month, and then we do little live event shows, all over Florida, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the first part of the day on Thursday and Friday, we're at the PC, grinding away, training in the rings, training in the weight rooms, doing promos, and we're together all the time. And then we all live here in Orlando. So when we don't have when we're not at the PC or not at a show, and we're at our house, wrestlers, when they slow down and stop doing stuff, they tend to get bored pretty easy, so then we're hanging out in our free time. So it's without a doubt a family. We're a team. It's a great group of brothers down here, Fred. Great group.
I'd imagine it was very hard to leave NXT, although, to quote you, you did it for the greater good of your own career. Could you kind of give us a little bit of detail on what that conversation was like with management, whether it was Paul Levesque or whomever? Was it just, hey, I need to go somewhere else to get better? Did you kind of express feelings of leaving beforehand? I mean, how'd this go about?
It wasn't that I need to go somewhere else to get better, because this place is where you want to be, and incredible coaching and training. There's no doubt in my mind that I would continue to get better here, but I just felt that it was time for me to just, try a different way, because I felt like maybe I was plateauing. I felt like there was a spot that I had that maybe I wasn't going to be able to get out of. And being so young, I didn't want to be known for being the guy that did what I did on TV for too long. For a very, I want to get out there and get all kinds of experience and come back with a fresh coat of paint. You know what I mean? And maybe then things will go differently. Not that I was bitter, upset, or frustrated with what was happening. I just knew for me and as a performer, I needed to stop and try something else and go a different route to continue to grow. The talk was a great talk. I went into the talk worried and afraid, not knowing how they would perceive what I was saying, and I shouldn't have worried because they are great and they knew that I had my mind made up and they knew that it was a tough decision for me and they knew that it was something I had to do, and they were very supportive, and it was ended on good terms. And in the future, who knows? Maybe I would come back here. Maybe I won't, just because it ended in good terms and we're all friends, and everybody gets along great, and they were good to me and I was good to them. It's still business, and in a few years, maybe they don't want me to be back. Maybe I don't want to see myself coming back. But I think the door is always open, and it couldn't have closed out for me any better.
And can you just describe kind of working under Triple H? I mean, here you are, 25 years old, and you got signed in your early 20s, grew up in the Attitude Era. All of a sudden, you're getting mentored by the Game. What was that like?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's very, very surreal for a while. It's very, you're nervous. I was nervous about it for a while, because I look up to him so much and have so much respect for him, and, he's the man. And, big, tall, tan, jack dude, and a suit, he can be intimidating, But as you get to know him and you see how passionate he is and how much he cares about NXT, and how much he cares about the future, how much he cares about all the guys that work on him, everybody in NXT, the ice slowly breaks and it becomes easy. And then before you know it, whoa, hold on a second, I'm working under Triple H. That'll come to you every once in a while, much like Dusty Rhodes. Sometimes geez, Dusty Rhodes is watching me do promos for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Wow, Dusty Rhodes is watching me do promos. Wow, Triple H giving me advice on a match. You know what I mean? It's when you stop and think about it, it's whoa, man, hello. This is awesome. You know what I mean?
Did the Attitude Era fan in you ever think? I don't know if you ever did this or not, but did the Attitude Era fan in you, the 8-year-old in you, ever think, man, I want to ask him about this random match from 1999 or something?
No, because it's all business, yeah. And TV is the most important part of our anything we do. TV is the most. There's the most pressure on us. We want to do very well for him. He wants us to do very well, and there's no really time for that. And at least maybe a quick thing here or there, a joke here or there, but nothing no fanboy stuff. Yeah, man, nothing like that. I think one time I told him he does this thing where Harley Race did it too, and Shawn Michaels did it too, where you run into somebody throws you into the corner and you hook and you flip out and fall to the outside. It's kind of like a bump that he did very well, that he always did. And I did it on one TV, and I think we made a joke about it or something. Just like a little thing like that here and there. Yeah, he's a great guy, man. You'd be surprised once you get to know him. He's very easy to talk to, and he's awesome.
So what you're telling WWE fans right now is the future is safe with Paul Levesque.
Oh yeah, dude. I wouldn't put anyone else in charge of it. He cares about wrestling. He always has. I mean, if you look at his career and know anything about him, he always has, and you can tell that he always will.
Now, there was a lot of controversy, though, a few months back with Bill DeMott. And to be fair to Bill, at the very least, he's polarizing. But, I interviewed him a few years back. Seemed like all things considered a cool guy. Obviously, he has people that criticize him, but there's also other people, most notably Antonio Thomas, I've spoken to before, Brad Maddox, Chris Jericho, who speak very highly of him. What was your experience like with Bill DeMott?
I think Bill was a passionate guy. He was proud to be the head coach. And he was always the first one there, the last one to leave. He put everything he had in NXT. He went from from Dale Mabry, the small warehouse, to the PC, the multi-million-dollar PC, and he saw that get off the ground, and he was a part of it. He was hands-on with it, and he loved it. And I think that speaks volumes on Bill.
Who would you
right
say,
there alone?
and I was just going to ask, who would you say is the unsung hero of NXT as far as trainers go? I mean, we hear about Sarah Del Rey quite a bit. You know, we've heard about
Yeah.
Bill. I know Jason Albert just started, so I don't know how much you got a chance to really work with him. Is there anybody that you'd say is kind of under the radar that's been a big influence on the stars in NXT that maybe doesn't get enough credit?
Yeah, I think, first of all the coaches are awesome. I mean, I think all of them are awesome in different ways. They were assembled in a way to where each one of them has a certain strength. But I feel like not enough people talk about Robbie Brooks' side, and not enough people talk about Roman Smiley. And those two guys are awesome, man. And they put in a lot of time and a lot of hard work, and they've both wrestled all over the world, and they can teach you any hold. They can teach you any counter. They know, they're so technically sound. And those are the guys, if you want to learn anything wrestling-wise, those are the guys, and then Billy Gunn, he's was a top guy at the top time, and he has a way of doing things that's very awesome. It's very he likes the simplest way, and that's a beautiful thing. And I feel like not enough people know how good of a trainer he is. Terry Taylor has incredible psychology. I mean, he wrestled Pat O'Connor for God's sake. So like, this guy has a wealth of knowledge, and just to sit around him and hear about stories and hear about, just like the old way of doing things, and his story is incredible, and he understands exactly what gets over, and he's the man. Everybody, dude, everybody there, they wouldn't be there unless they were the best of the best, and that goes for all the coaches.
And Billy Gunn, I mean, I saw him at WrestleMania. I mean, that guy, he's like, what, 51, 52 years old? The guy still looks phenomenal for his age.
Yeah, man, he's tan and jacked, and he's a big brick-handed son of a bitch. I hope he hears this, because he'll laugh right there. Yeah, dude, he's a great guy, and he makes that place fun, man. He's a big little kid. He's a 51-year-old, 5-year-old is what he is. He just likes to laugh, have a good time, and at the same time learn. And his thing is, you can have fun and joke around and still be learning and working hard, and I always love that about him. He's the man, dude.
And how cool is it? Just, you mentioned NXT being kind of like a family atmosphere. How cool is it to see the women getting over as much as they are, particularly Sasha Banks and Charlotte?
I love it, man. I love when anybody gets a chance, and I love that the girls down here are getting a huge chance, and they're doing great, man. They're showing everybody why they deserve a chance. Yeah, dude. That 4-way they had a couple of live specials ago, I was extremely I loved it. They were out there working their tails off, and who couldn't respect that? You know what I mean? And when they do things like that, they're just going to continue to get opportunities, and they're going to continue to show people how passionate and how hard they work too. I love it, dude. I'm really proud of those girls.
And before I let you go, we did ask some fans to submit some questions if you got a little bit of time. Just a couple quick hits, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right, from George. How long did it take Kevin Owens to forgive you after he broke his nose?
I'd probably say about 4 or 5 seconds, maybe. Okay. Because the thing about Kevin is he's a pro wrestler in every way, and he's a tough son of a bitch. So, I hit him, his nose broke. He said, "Oh man, I think he exploded my nose." And I looked down and I went, "Oh brother, yeah, I think I did." But then the blood started to come, and then you can hear the crowd. When you're there, you can hear the crowd realize what had happened, that there's blood pouring out of him. And Kevin knew, and I think probably right away that it made his debut that much better. Because what other character? I mean, that's how I would want my Kevin Owens to debut. I would want his face I mean, we didn't plan that. Those things, they happen. But I would want his nose to explode, just cover everything in blood, and then have him still prevail and whoop whoever's ass he's whooping. You know what I mean? It was great. And then you got the referee, Drake, trying to wipe it off, and Kevin don't care. He doesn't sell it for a second. He's just dead set on making an impression and whooping my ass, and that's exactly what he did. I thought it was beautiful. And when I watch it back, I'm like, hell yeah. I wouldn't change one thing there. I'm glad I broke his nose, and Kevin thinks the same way. He's happy that I broke his nose because it made the match that much better.
I do have to agree. I mean, out of all the people's noses you break, I mean, Kevin Owens in his debut, it was almost perfect.
Yeah, like if I would have broke Tyler Breeze's nose, that would have sucked, because it would have got blood all over his beautiful gear, and that. I mean, obviously, maybe it would have been actually cool too, because we could have went the other way with it. How could I break a model's nose? But Kevin. I'm glad I broke his nose, man. You can quote that too.
I will.
Glad I broke Kevin Owens' nose.
Oh, let's put that in the headlines right there. Oh man, Scott here asks, who is your dream opponent outside of WWE?
Are we gonna just do it like at any time in?
I guess let's do current. I mean, like I don't know, like an Adam Cole, a Nakamura, Tanahashi. I mean, anybody that comes to mind for you?
All three of those guys. All three of those guys. Esther, I would love to work with all of those guys because they're all awesome, and I'm a huge fan of all three of them. Also, I think the Young Bucks they are so awesome, dude. They entertain me. Kenny Omega, just everybody, man. Wrestling is so hot right now. I mean, who would I not want to work with? I'd like to get in there again with Chris Hero, Trent. I got some friends, EC3 and Bram, and there's just so many people everywhere that, I want to get back in there with, or get in there with for the first time. You look at any roster, TNA, there's guys there that are awesome, incredible. ROH, same thing. New Japan, same thing. There's guys doing it in PWG, CZW, where I'm going Saturday, AEW in Chicago, everywhere. There's great wrestlers everywhere, and I hope that by the time I'm done wrestling, I'll be able to say I wrestled all of them. You know what I mean? That's just me. I want to get in there as much as I can with everybody.
And how much did the trainers and more specifically Triple H kind of follow indie wrestling and international wrestling? I mean, could you tell at all? I mean, I know like the superstars like yourself did. I mean, Sasha Banks, tweeting about Tozawa every now and then. I mean, was that big on the people in NXT, the entire staff, to kind of keep an eye on what's going on out there?
Well, I think if you look at the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, you see the guys that have made it to WWE. I would think that clearly everybody has their eye on what goes on outside of WWE, because the guys that are doing it right now and that are doing it in a big way all did it in a big way before they got here, at least in the biggest way that you can without WWE as a platform. That's Fran Stilo, that's Hideo Itami, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, Finn Balor, all those guys, stars before they got here. Then you got Seth Rollins, Cesaro, Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, and Daniel. All these guys, they're all. You know what I mean? I think if you're good, man, they're gonna find you and they're gonna know about you.
It's good, definitely good to know for any aspiring wrestlers or any aspiring WWE superstars watching this right now. If you are good, they will find you.
Yep, the cream always rises, as Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
The Macho Man promo goes. Yeah, there it is.
That was a terrible Randy Savage impression.
That's all right. We'll just skip right over and on to the next thing.
We will. This is kind of an obscure question from Jeremy, and I'm assuming this is about Finn Balor. Apparently, Finn Balor didn't know how to drive before getting to Orlando. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Okay, he's asking. This is a very random question. Would you trust Finn Balor to drive you to the mall in Orlando?
Yes, I would. I would trust Finn Balor with my life. I let him drive my car once from some show. He's great. I miss him already. Just sitting there talking and laughing. You know, he's new to driving, so to watch him to do it, it's pretty funny. He's very cautious and he's very he makes sure, you know, and looks both ways and follows all the rules and watches the speed limit. And he does a great job, man. He reminds me of when like 16. Here's the cool thing: it's like 33, you know. So he's not a child, and you see him, and it's like when you're 15 and you learn how to drive, but he's a 33-year-old full-grown man. Man, that was a great question, man. That made me smile. But yeah, he does great. I would trust him with anything, man. He's the man.
All right, let's see. Okay, Frank here asks, who is the funniest member of the NXT locker room?
Whew, man. Oh my gosh. The boys are gonna be hot if I answer this wrong. Oh, dude, there's so many funny guys. Enzo Amore makes me laugh a lot. He's really funny. Sami Zayn's really funny. I think people don't know Adrian Neville. You know, he'll make, you know, I have a weird sense of humor though. So, but dude, you know, here's the thing. When all the boys get together, everybody's funny, man. You just take turns making jokes, and that's all it is. It's just all of us just sitting around making fun of each other, laughing and busting up, and everybody has a highlighted moment, you know. I gotta say, there's a guy named Braun Strowman down here, and he pops me real hard. But here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about him. He tries to pop people really hard. So he loves the fact that he's able to pop the boys, and he keeps track of the amount of pops he gets, and he keeps track of who he pops and how. And man, that right there pops me. So I had to mention him, or else he'd get hot. There's a lot of funny guys. Scott Dawson cracks me up. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's funny, you know, in their own way.
I'm glad you mentioned.
Here's one for you, though. Hideo Itami has a sense of humor on him that maybe some people wouldn't know because he's such a badass on TV, but he's got an incredible sense of humor.
That's good to know. Maybe we'll see that sense of humor come out on TV down the road. I'm glad you mentioned Scott Dawson. I think that guy is really underrated. He's pretty damn good in the ring. Kind of reminds me of like a Arn Anderson type of guy. You know what I mean? Like kind of like just a worker.
Bro, he's a working son of a bitch, man. He's so good. It makes me laugh because I was talking about him and his partner Dash Wilder to someone else, and I said I love them. Those guys are so good. They make everybody in the ring with them better. They put on great matches. And then I said I love them because they remind me of the Brainbusters, just like you just said. Except the guy who interviewed me misquoted it, and he put, I love them because they do Brainbusters, which makes me look like an idiot. And they don't do Brainbusters, so it's very confusing. But yeah, they don't do Brainbusters, but they remind me of the Brainbusters, and they can work their asses off. And I can't wait till they get going on TV because they're gonna be awesome.
I'm watching Enzo Amore, and he's another guy that at first when I saw him, I was like, all right, just because I'm from Jersey, and, you know, you see the kind of the stereotypical gimmicks, and, you know, it gets annoying after a while, but this guy is just so talented, so damn entertaining. And over the course of time, his look has gotten more unique, and more unique, and more unique, to the point where now he had like almost like a flesh-colored beard. And, you know, he had the leopard spots, and I know you two are tight, so I'm assuming you two have traveled together before, or at least gone out in public before. Can you just describe the experience of going out in public with a guy that looks like Enzo Amore?
Well, you got to remember, though, he's walking next to me, and I got rainbow-colored dreads half the time, so we're like two peas in a pod, you know. But, dude, I don't know. We don't really pay attention to that. But I'll tell you, though, he is so entertaining, man. He's got a book, a binder full of about 500 pages of promos that he's written and one-liners that he's written and came up with himself. And he puts in so much time, and he's so creative, and he's getting better and better and better in the ring all the time because he's got every other thing down pat. And that's the only thing that that he needs to keep getting better, and he is, man. And it's great to see. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for old EA all day.
And I'd imagine his hairstyle, his beard is very tough to maintain. You got to be pretty meticulous. How hard is it to maintain those rainbow dreads?
Well, they're not rainbow anymore. I kind of stripped away the color, but that's the cool thing about dreads is they're really easy to maintain. Once that's the whole point of them. Once they're dreaded, they kind of just it's the wake up and go thing. Every once in a while, I get them tightened back up, and I take the loose hair and put it back into each of the box, and then washing it is that's not very hard, but it's drying it. You need to dry it in a timely manner just to keep it clean and fresh. So it's easier. It's just the same as having when I had long curly long curly kinky hair. It was just as hard, just different,
Well, now you're a known guy.
You should get dreads. You got hair? I don't even know. You got hair, you should get dreads.
I don't know if I have enough hair for dreads. I might be able to buy kind of like a CJ Parker wig. And it's actually kind of good that you still have the dreads. You can keep growing them out, build up, kind of continue to make a name for yourself outside of WWE, and then you could do a hair versus hair match, which hopefully you'll win.
Oh, I will. If I'm doing one, I'll win it because I ain't cutting these.
Well said. Well, before I let you go, man, I do really appreciate the time. Can you let fans know where they're going to find you? I know you mentioned CCW in Philly this weekend. Anywhere else coming up in your schedule?
Yeah, I'm at Five Boroughs in, I think, that's in Brooklyn. And then next weekend I'm at, I think it's XWA in Cranston, Rhode Island. And then I'll be back home in AAW and Dreamwave the beginning of May, and hopefully I get something there in between. And who knows, man? I'm just living one day at a time, selling one T-shirt, 1 8x10 at a time. I'm really excited, man. I can't wait to do pro wrestling the way that I think it's so cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely
just
looking.
Literally selling a T-shirt. No, okay, that was my electric bill. That was a third of my electric bill. All right, sweet. You know what I mean? I can't wait for that.
That's directly to the source, and I'm assuming that's ProWrestlingTees.com.
Yep, ProWrestlingTees.com / I don't know, whatever that's called, CJT. I got four of them up there right now. More to come, but those were the first 4 that I just got with the top, came up with off the top of my head, and I think they're cool. So hopefully other people do too, or else they won't be up there very long.
And where can fans contact, or not fans, I'm sorry, bookers contact you? They want to book you.
Oh, yeah. My booking email is flatbackin with no G, sob@gmail.com, and that I just made to pop myself. So, hopefully it makes other people laugh too.
That's very creative. I'd say it's creative. Wait, you said flat backing or slap backing?
No, flat backing.
Okay.
SOB.
Okay, I thought slap backing. I was like, if you're chilling with Ludacris, I mean, all right, maybe you're trying to go a different career path. Yeah.
No, man, I don't know Ludacris for my ham sandwich, I'll tell you that. But if you go to my Twitter, the link's right there. So.
Cool. And of course, you can visit him on Twitter at WWE Moonchild. I know our mutual friend Kim Angle is going to kill me if I don't plug her fan site for you, cjparker.info.
Yes, she does so much for me. It helps me out. She's great.
Kim Angle's awesome. So shout out to Kim Angle. You're great. CJ, thanks so much for your time, man. Had a lot of fun talking to you, talking about NXT, talking about this pro wrestling business we both love very much.
Hell yeah.
Best of luck in your career, man. I think big things are in your future.
All right, brother. I'll see you down the road.